Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first annual 2017 Public Speaking Invitational. I'm your meet official, Adam Dreismeier, and today we will be taking a look at competitive swimming, sponsored in part by USA Swimming. If you take a look at your meet program for this evening, you can see three main events highlighted. Our first event will be the basics and fundamentals of swimming, followed by the meets and competitions. And finally, our third event of the day will be the health benefits associated with swimming. Diving into our first event, we have the fundamentals and basics of swimming. Swimming is a test of an individual's strength and stamina in the water and is intensely cardiovascular. The four main strokes are freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, my personal favorite, and butterfly, which was not actually invented at the beginning of competitive swimming. It was first officially recognized in an international competition at the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne. My personal favorite stroke, as I said, is breaststroke, as it is a stroke that not very many people enjoy doing, and I also enjoy doing the 200 and 400 IM. The numbers that I just threw out may be a little confusing, and I'll try and clear those up for you now. The distances in swimming are somewhat universal throughout the strokes. There are 100s and 200s of every event, with a 50, 400, 800, and mile event in the freestyle, and a 400 individual medley and 200 individual medley, which the individual medley is where a swimmer does all four of the strokes in order of butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and then freestyle. There are also several different relays from distances to 200 to 800 in freestyle and medley. The medley relays go in order of backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle and are swum by four swimmers. Moving forward with the basics, there are several different levels at which you can compete in swimming. There are different country clubs, recreational clubs, and YMCA clubs that you can join. I personally was a member of the YMCA of Greater Omaha for a long period of time, and then I moved on to the Council Bluffs Swim Club, which is a predominantly USA swimming organization. USA Swimming is the basis for the USA national team and the Olympic team, so the time standards and everything are based off of the Olympics and the Olympic trials. Oh, the time standards, like I said, are based off of the Olympic trials, and in relation to the Olympics, swimming has been an Olympic sport since the beginning of the modern Olympic Games, according to Olympic.org's database. Turning into our second event of the day, we have the competitions, otherwise known as the meets. Swimming pools come in two main sizes, with a third that is not quite as common, but is actually featured in our hometown of Council Bluffs. The first is the Olympic-sized 50-meter pool, which is used obviously for the Olympics and most international events, as well as the domestic USA Swimming Summer Leagues. Behind me is a picture of a 25-yard pool, which is used for the Winter USA competitions, as well as most American swim meets, and high school meets. There is the occasional 25-meter pool, which is what our very own Kern pool is and what I practice in most of the time for high school. But those are quite rare, and a lot of competitions happen in those. Next point in the meet will be how kind of the meets are organized. There are two different ways meets can be organized: the timed finals or a prelim final format. Timed finals would mean that swimmers only swim each event that they have once, resulting in quite shorter meets. And prelim final meets are much longer, where swimmers that are entered in the meets swim in the prelims, and then the fastest finishers from the prelims swim in the finals later in the day. There are also, like I mentioned before, time standards to enter certain meets, such as these speedo-sectional times here, which are very fast, and I can't hit them. Most meets you'll find for USA have what's called no time standard, or NTS, meaning that any swimmer can participate in them as long as they enter a valid time. Next is the seeding, which is basically how you are put into your heats and lanes, which is who you race against within the meet. There are two different ways to seed a meet. There is regular seeding and circle seeding. Regular seeding simply means that the fastest swimmers, the 6 fastest or 8 fastest swimmers, swim in the last heat of every event. Circle seeding is quite different. It works by putting the first, the third, and so on in the final heat, and not in the terms, in respect to a 6-lane pool, the top 6 competitors, or the top 6 seed times, do not swim in the same heat together. Pictured here. Hitting the wall, we'll move on to our third event, the health benefits associated with swimming. One of the things that you may know from maybe observing me in the lunchroom is that swimmers eat a lot. Yes, it is in fact true, according to BravoTV.com's article on Olympic athlete diets, that Michael Phelps does indeed eat up to 12,000 calories a day to prepare his body for the intense training that swimming requires. Most people would enjoy taking a couple zeros out of that equation. A few more health benefits associated with swimming are it tones the body and it makes you very balanced, especially in respect to your shoulders and upper body, your core, and your overall flexibility. Swimming as an anaerobic sport where you have to hold your breath to compete also increases your lung capacity naturally. That is, your ability to take in an amount of oxygen and for your body to use it effectively. Some final health benefits for the less competitive side of swimming are that I find that I am nearly immune to the common cold and other things because there is a layer of film on most pools that is completely dirty and gross and full of germs. So being in that environment for 13 hours a week definitely helps with conditioning myself for that. Swimming is also used as an effective treatment and rehabilitation method for those who've gone through surgery or those who've gone through chemotherapy simply to loosen joints or relax. Personally, my grandfather, after having a few hip problems, he got in the water and said it was fantastic, much better than walking or exercising that he had done in the past. And finally, it can simply save you from, if you yourself are drowning, and it can prevent that from happening, or if someone that you know and that you're swimming with is drowning, you could potentially help them or save them. Finishing up with the meet results, in first place, we have the fundamentals and basics of swimming, where we talked about the 4 strokes and the origin of swimming and things like that. In second place, we have the meets and competitions, where you compete and race against others. And in third place, we have the health benefits associated with swimming. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you learned a little bit more about swimming and maybe gained a small appreciation for the sport, and also maybe a little bit of insight on why I love it so much. Thank you again.